All right. Welcome, everyone, to the regular meeting of the Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation Commission. Today is Tuesday, July the 15th. All right. We'll do a roll call.
Beth Giltner.
Aaron Borey.
Mark Ingram.
Rod Gray.
Ken Trimble.
Sam Dudley.
All right. And Ruth Hager will be here shortly, and Ruth Mitchell is out tonight. But we do have an agenda, so we're going to go ahead and start. And then we have the agenda. I think, Sam, you said you wanted to recommend a change to this?
I would like to recommend we add something to the agenda, just a quick thing, basically moving the workshop expense from the Leatherwood infrastructure account to the general, as a general expense.
Okay, so that would be under new business?
Yes.
Move approval.
Second.
Hold on, let's get Aaron updated here. Workshop. And then we'll have Sam talk about that and when we get to that. Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda with the additional item of moving the workshop from the Leatherwood account to the general fund.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Okay, then we have the minutes from our June 17th meeting that you guys should have got in the Dropbox.
We had to do approval of the agenda.
We just did.
That was just for the amendment to change the agenda.
That was just the new business.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
So
just to approve that change?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
well
we
then-
have to do the approval of the whole.
Okay, well, let's do that then.
Move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Rod, second by Beth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay, now let's go to the minutes. On the minutes, again, they were from June 17th, and I'm assuming everybody's looked over them. Anybody have any questions? Any changes? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes from the June 17th, 2025 meeting.
Second. Go ahead.
All right, we have a motion from Aaron Borey, second from Ken. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Minutes are approved. Okay, public comments. We have no public, so we'll move past that.
Hey.
Well, he didn't count. Chairperson's comments. Okay, let's see. I don't think I have anything at this time. I may reserve the right at the end to talk about something, but right now we'll just go on to Sam's director's report.
The past month was centered around preparations in the execution of our third annual 4th of July celebration, Jamboree. This year was the first that we were able to utilize the parking areas at Hidden Valley Guest Ranch, and the first year we charged for parking. These two changes, along with the assistance provided from volunteers and other city departments, helped tremendously in managing the estimated 2,000 attendees and ensured we were able to recoup a decent chunk of the expenses of the fireworks and the games and all that. Overall, I'd say this was our best Jamboree by far, based on a number of metrics, including attendance. That said, a huge thank you goes out to all those that helped to make it so successful. And since we're on record, I'll just go ahead. And here they are. Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation Commission. Thank you for assisting in planning and parking, especially Mr. Rod Gray.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
He's
You were a true warrior out there.
He was.
Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation staff, of course, for working so diligently to make sure all the details were seen to. Hidden Valley Guest Ranch for allowing us to use the parking at their facilities. Clear Spring School for managing the parking at Hidden Valley Guest Ranch. The CAPC and the City of Eureka Springs for their financial assistance with the fireworks, and CAPC as well for booking the bands and the sound for the event, as well as their assistance with the promoting the event. Ron Sumner, Fossils of Ancient Robots, and Silmore Special for providing the tunes. Cornerstone Bank for donating $1,000 worth of gift cards to the raffle, which I think went really well. Eureka Springs Transit for providing the excellent shuttle services from in-town and on-site. Eureka Springs Police Department. Yes, that's you, Billy. I'm acknowledging you. You're not here, but I'm looking at you like you are. He always gives me a hard time about not acknowledging them. For all of their help in managing traffic, crowds, and just public safety in general. Eureka Springs Fire Department for ensuring the safety of all in attendance. Fortunately, we didn't have any incidents, so that was, third year in a row. Great. TJ and Angie Shaw for supplying the water games on such short notice. Don't use flippin' frogs, public record. They're out of business. All of the food and drink vendors provided excellent food and service to thousands of people. Randy Wolfenbarger of Inn of the Ozarks for lending us their tables and chairs. Victor Smith for lending us the canopy tent and helping to set it up and tear it down. Rainbow Fireworks for supplying a fantastic fireworks show despite the mishap at the end, which, by the way, we are going to get those fireworks that didn't go off, we're going to get added on to next year. I figured it's on a Saturday next year, so it might even be crazier. So we might as well go all out. And, of course, to everyone that attended the event. And on a final note, on Jamboree, I just want to say apologize to anyone who had to be turned away towards the later part of the evening. The parking was just full. We just couldn't handle any more parking. So next year we'll be working with the shuttle service, the transit, to try and get more in-town parking and maybe put signs out where those locations are, just promoting that as more of a thing we can use, because we've never had to turn people away, and it feels really bad to do it, but we can only do what we can do. Yeah. So,
but in fairness, people come late on a July 4th event.
Yeah.
I don't care
a lot
where
of
you
people
are
just
in the
come
world,
for the
that
fireworks.
is going to be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just going to be an issue if you're in Dallas, if you're in St. Louis. It won't matter. If you're going to an event, you're going to be turned away for parking reasons.
Yep.
You just got to know that.
Yeah. And like I said, last thing, the fireworks providers did mention there was a misfire towards the end of the show, and when that happens, they just have to shut everything down for obvious reasons. So apologies for not getting the finale.
But honestly, we thought that the ending happened like 10 times every time. We're like,
It was like repeat grand finales. It was the best display I've ever seen.
It was cool, yeah. But, there were no injuries, so that we know of. In other news, Eureka Springs Theater Company will be performing a rendition of Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream at the Harmon Park Arvest stage on July 18th, 19th, 25th, and 26th. So essentially this Friday and Saturday and next Friday and Saturday. So if you want to go watch it, it's free. It might be kind of fun.
I thought it was $10 admission.
No, I told them that we can't really charge. It's a park, so charge for parking.
It will be at Harmon Park?
Yes.
What time?
It starts at 4, but then the play itself, I think they said, starts at around 5:30. So there'll be vendors and just kind of like a Renaissance fair vibe going on up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're excited about that. The Arvest stage is getting used. Be sure to bring a chair or a blanket. And we are in the final stages of the Lake Weatherwood Watershed Grant. We'll be hosting our penultimate meeting on August 5th. After this, we'll schedule a meeting in which all the commissioners and the public are invited to join to discuss the report and the possible remedies for Lake Weatherwood moving forward in terms of water quality and siltage, and whether we need to dredge we do need to dredge, but if we can afford to dredge. So plans like that. We've also been working with the Pollinator Alliance to procure a grant from Arkansas Forestry Division to create what we are planning to name the Fisher Forest. After the late Chris Fisher, the area will be located adjacent to the Lake Weatherwood Playground and will feature a variety of native pollinating trees and interpretive signage. We plan on having that project wrapped up by late October, early November, but we're starting now, so. We have trifold brochures for Lake Weatherwood, which look really sleek. Thanks to Gypsy Graphics for making those. They look pretty awesome. I should have brought one so you guys could look at it. And then we also have pocket maps. Our first batch came in yesterday, and another batch came in today, apparently. So
Paid for by CAPC.
Paid for by CAPC, yeah.
It's some kind of pet thing was laying there. It was real heavy.
Oh. I don't know what the, yes, know what to
I
go.
don't know what it was. It just, I could read something pet on the box.
Oh, maybe it was doggy poop bags, speaking of which.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah,
Maybe it was that.
they're dense. There's a lot of bags in there, so.
Okay, probably.
I'm not too worried about anyone stealing those, So. And then just last night, it's not on the director's report, but I've been working the last 2 days, that's why my eyes are a little bleary, but on getting the grant for the new bathhouse down at Leatherwood.
Cool.
So that's something we'll have to add to the meeting. Next meeting is discussing, and they require that we have some kind of public record that we've discussed it, and that you guys are good with moving forward if we get the money.
And just FYI, I will be calling in for that meeting, but Rod's going to run it from here, so I'll be there and be a person.
No Wordle. Can't be Wordling.
Can't we work?
Come on now.
All right, Ruth is just in time for the important stuff.
Oh, and while she's sitting down, one last thing. We did get the sign from Gypsy Graphics as well for the Lake Weatherwood entry sign,
Oh, yeah?
the one in which we had the fundraiser for.
Right.
So we have that in possession. We just got to get some more cedar lumber, and then we'll install it. So looks pretty awesome.
Cool.
Yay.
And that's it?
Yep, that's it. Stop me.
All right. All right, committee reports, we don't have any. We don't have any old business. We're going to go right into new business.
Hold it. Oh, I understand that I'm now a director of a committee.
No.
But we've not told me anything about this. Because we can't talk until we have a meeting. So what is this I'm in charge of?
Now, during our discussions at our workshop, we kept thinking of brilliant ideas for fundraising, and every time we said, that'd be perfect for Rod, that'd be perfect for Rod. So pretty much everything we just assigned to you. But we'll talk about it in our next workshop.
Okay.
I think we formally have to
We didn't formally create a
There was not a
create a
vote.
committee.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about it in public until we have a real official meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what's going on because nobody's actually told
You can talk to
me.
me, baby.
You
in
can go
charge of
talk to Sam
everything.
any day,
Okay.
anytime.
Okay. I mean, I have some great ideas for fundraising. I seriously do. Been thinking of things.
So see, we were going down the right road.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Now I know what's going on.
Now that you're retired, you have time.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the tough part of the new business, we're going to start with Q2 financial reports. And I just want to emphasize to you guys, you might have two things. And what you saw probably, what I only saw online was the January through June.
Yeah, I added, yesterday evening, I added the second quarter financial.
Because that's what we turn in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I know probably for y'all's part, you're more interested in the year-to-date.
Right.
But city council just wants the quarter.
Well, I feel like everybody probably's eyeballs rolled and went, oh my gosh, when they saw the number on the bottom. So I'm going to let's start with Sam kind of pointing out a few things about the overall report and sort of maybe answer some of our initial questions by just explaining a few things.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys want to start with the whole year-to-date one?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, most of the numbers are pretty spot on as far as being in and around the 50% mark, which is what we're going for. Obviously, there's one that stands out, which is 706. And that's mostly because, once again, we received the Banks Family Foundation grant back in 2024.
Okay.
So that shows up on 2024 profit. And then we didn't expend hardly any of that. I think we spent like $3,000 of that 75 in 2024. It all got spent in Q1 of this year.
Yeah, and I think, I'm going to look at Beth on this one. I think there's an accounting way to account for that money in a previous year and then move it to the next year. It's almost like deferred something. So you're still accounting for it in your records for 2024, for example,
But it reflects in
But you,
2025.
but if it reflects 2025, we could find a way to go back and it doesn't throw this off as much as it looks like it does.
Yeah.
So we will do a little research and find the answer for that, because honestly, that skews this enough that matters. Because that's $75,000, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was going to be my next question while you're on that topic, was all the monies that have been received, are they under the grants and I mean, the contribution?
Yeah, I put them under 640, so
Okay,
it's
that's what I was thinking.
income, but it's restricted. Like, we have to spend it on specific things.
Okay.
So,
I see, okay. So all of the money that CAPC or anybody that gave us
Yeah,
for
CAPC
that went into
Yeah.
the grants, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
So that's the big one, obviously. And then, once again, these are one-time expenses, and those will begin to sort of even out throughout the, when you spend a bunch of money in 3 months, but it's reflected over a whole year, it's going to look really bad in those first 3 months. And then I think as we go along throughout the year, that bottom number is going to become more digestible.
Right. Also, as far as general income, the amount of money that we have received, it's not all the way up to date. It's not like as of the end of June 30th, we have received all the money that
Yeah, this
sales
is-
taxes, right? So we a couple of months behind.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, 630 and 605.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so for example, late June, we got a payment from the state for the sales tax. That money is actually for April's sales tax revenue, because, they collect it in April. It takes them a month to get it, and it takes another few weeks to disperse it. So,
This is only 4 months, or well, it would include the last 2 of last year.
yeah, so like the sales tax that we get on the 2025 budget, one of them is for November, one of them is for December of 2024. So it's a little bit, I'm not sure how to remedy that, but just sort of, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, it all averages out, but
Yeah, I mean, because we're a cash basis accounting, we kind of have to account for the cash when we get the cash.
Well, the good news is that the last 2 months are higher grossing months than the last 2 of last year.
yeah, and that's what
So
Mark's
it's
kind of alluding to, is like next month we'll get May, and then June, and then July.
So we have the ability to start shrinking some of this net loss amount
Yes.
throughout the next 6 months. Well, 5 months, I guess, but the next 3 or 4 months will be some of our busiest months, I'm assuming, and then October, through
Yeah.
that.
And, some of the 706 stuff, there were things with the Harmon apartment that went past the date, we spent in 2025 on certain things to finish that project. So some of that went into that. But we're done with the Harmon Park, the apartment renovation. We're
Where's
done
that
with
income going? And what,
It's going into property use permits and fees, 655.
655? Oh, property use and permits. Oh, okay. See what you're saying. Yeah.
And then, we're done with Basic Park, we're done with the workshop. So all these big expenses are done, and we're actually going to get a little bit more reimbursement from Jambarica once we get the final bill. There's certain things we'll get a little nice chunk of change for to kind of help even out, but
And we really have no large upcoming expenditures, right?
no, we
We've got-
got
5.5 months.
I mean, if you look at 710, 710, we did budget for certain equipment, but that's more like a luxury item at the end of the year if we
That ain't
have the money.
And we don't.
You buy
I'm telling you right now, we don't.
Sammy a new truck.
That's not happening.
Say goodbye.
So on that note, to the public, if anyone's looking to get a tax write-off by donating a vehicle to the
Exactly.
Parks Department, we are gladly accepting those.
All donations accepted.
Yes.
Well, hence the fundraising workshop, which is, we need to get a jump on that, Mr. Rod. We're going to have a conversation at our next workshop quickly.
If you do look at the income from operations section. I mean, you can see we are crushing it in that department. So, I mean, we're at 49% of our sales from Square, and that includes January and February, in which we were, the bait shop wasn't even open. And then, LLCP lodging is already over, we're already shooting over our predictions of, which were already high. Like I was kind of being ambitious with the 200,000 number, but we're going over that. So we're on track for probably $250,000 from lodging this year.
That's good.
That's real good.
Yeah, we need to really make up for that.
I have a question for you, Sam.
Yes.
On 615, refunds and rebates received, what's that about? I'm curious.
That's a good question. I think it's more for the way Square tracks things. Like if we give employee discounts for, certain things, like if you want to book a cabin there and you want to stay out there just to experience it, we usually give a discount of like 50%, I think.
Okay.
So things like that would show up on that. Or if we had to refund somebody a boat rental, usually stuff like that comes out of, like if they cancel a cabin, that'll just come out of the lodging as a negative expense. And so it'll, even itself out. But refunds and rebates are kind of, it's a weird one. They don't happen very often, only
Yeah,
$1,000, but
Yeah.
It's a small amount, but I was just
Yeah.
kind of curious, of, like, what do we refund and what do we refund?
yeah, like sometimes people will come in and buy something, they'll be like, never mind, I don't want to buy that anymore. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Anybody else? I mean, you are looking through that. Does anybody else have any big questions or that Sam can answer?
Oh, I guess I do, but it's not really this, sort of. When did we in the past pay for next year's fireworks? I know you don't want to think about it yet, but I can't remember. Wasn't it almost right away after the
It
last
was
one?
early, yeah.
I mean, Dale's aware that we want to book Saturday. I mean, that's,
Because it's Saturday next
I
year.
think,
Yeah, we need-
given how big the event is, we kind of have taken precedence over what they, locally. I think this year we paid, you can probably see it, I bet we paid early this year or late last year.
I think it was last year, because I remember at the time thinking it was real early, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was, if we paid half of it before the start of the new year, we got like a 5% bonus, product bonus. So I think that's what we did.
Yeah. I'm kind of inclined not to do that this year for this year's budget, unless we have the money from CAPC and the city early. I mean, I know it sounds like penny pinching.
Well, we're already going to get
We're penny.
$1,900 worth of,
Yeah, so that 5%, nah,
yeah.
we got it.
Yeah. But we do want to book the date.
Yeah,
So I think it'll probably
absolutely.
happen early next year, according to Mark. So.
It can be January 2nd. I'm okay with that.
Well, they'll probably let you know, or you'll find out. They won't leave us hanging if they already know we want them. So.
Yeah. Any other questions for Sam on the, remember, we're talking about the January 1st to June 30th, so that's the year-to-date one. What we need to look at for approval is
April through June.
the April through June. I'd like,
Oh, and just one other note on this. The watershed grant, we ended up paying we planned it out this way. We were responsible for $55,000 cash for the grant. And we paid all that off like this calendar year.
right.
Because we wanted to keep as much as possible to get the interest from the money market until we had to pay it. So that's also out of the way now. We've paid that off, except for like $4.12. For some reason, they didn't just bill that whole thing.
Okay.
But
What I would say, just on the topic of back to this part of the year, and I don't, or anybody else who has any comments, please come in here. But I think now that all the big things are done, we got Jamboree, we got the workshop, we got Basin Park, anything beyond normal, everyday stuff that we do is a no. until we start feeling comfortable that these numbers are, because of lodging and all this stuff, is coming back up to the levels that we think they should be. We knew it was going to be short because of Basin Park. We planned that. We knew that in terms of that. And we were going to spend some of our reserve for that. But we want to get that back to where it's what we thought we were going to spend in Basin Park, and it ended up being a bigger thing. And I don't think anybody has any regrets of that. But I just think it's probably just important to emphasize we're tightening the belt. We're not buying stuff that we don't absolutely have to have. And we're going to do good with what we have, but we're just not going to be willy-nilly buying things. We're going to be careful.
If there's a 2-month, so if July is one of the busiest tax receipts month,
It's going to make a difference.
so would it be
We get that end of September.
into September? So I guess basically we just have to know that we won't really have
Yeah.
a higher revenue taxes till then.
Yeah, the sales tax revenues will start, not that they've
Each
been bad,
month.
but
Yeah, they haven't been
they
bad.
will be increasing.
I've noticed that in
for the
the
rest of the year.
reconciliations. They haven't been horrible.
Yeah.
But
When you're spending that much, it helps.
it would be nice if it just kind of had a pretty incremental change,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that one month.
And just for public record, I'd also like to point out that since March 1st, 2023, we've only spent, we only have $70,000 less than when I took over as director.
Wow.
So, and I think we will recoup that
Yeah.
by the end of this calendar year. I think that'll be back to net zero.
So which will be wonderful, and only if we're watching it, right? So we're going to watch it, everybody.
Yes.
I mean, again, I don't think anybody has any regrets about Basin Park and getting that done. And we knew we were going to have to spend the money. I'm not criticizing that at all. I'm just saying, like, okay, now we're going to tighten the belt a little bit because
It's rice and beans time.
it's rice and beans time. Yeah. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Anybody else have anything?
You could donate that 2 cents to parks.
Do what?
You could donate that 2 cents to the Parks Department.
And I will. I will.
I have one question about
Yeah.
one item. I'm just curious, what is grant expenditures, 746?
Yeah,
What is that?
that is money that we pay for the watershed grant, essentially.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, most of the grants, the income from the grants, if it was spent on Basin Park, the expenditure got put into 706, infrastructure maintenance and repair. But for this specific one, it's kind of specific to the watershed grant. So it's for paying off, because Stephen Dickey is managing the grant for us.
Oh, okay, that's going to ask you,
So
what was
payments, we're not paying him that much, but, like payments to the Watershed Alliance, payments to Olson, payments to Stephen, all get put into that grant.
Okay, that's why I was wondering how it got to be 66,000, but that's
Yeah.
Stevens, it's all the,
I'd be trading Stephen jobs if that was the case.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, Stephen does not charge us as much as he should be. but
right.
True.
He's
A lot of
pretty
work.
awesome, so.
Great.
That was a good question, Ken,
Thank
because
you.
I hadn't really
It was an okay
asked that
question.
question.
It was an okay question. That's all right.
All right, so if we have no more questions on the year-to-date, let's go to the quarterly one. Then the quarterly one is the one that we actually turn into the city. So I'm going to assume everybody's, and what it's looking at specifically is profit and loss between April 1st and June 30th. I'm just going to assume that it's sort of driven the same way, and a lot of that expense was wrapping up Basin Park, right, Sam? Like final expenditures.
Yeah, it's, Basin Park as well as the workshop.
Oh, yeah. that's
So
right.
now that those two things are out of the way, we don't have to worry about those.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Sam regarding this quarter report?
Credit card and vendor fees, number 702. I mean, obviously, I know the credit card fees, that would be the percentage that we pay the processor. What else might go into that total?
If I knew a really good answer, I'd tell you. I mean, it has something to do with Square.
It's a square,
So-
it's the square fee.
Yeah, essentially it's a square fee plus credit. The way they've sent us the reports and the way they deposit the money, we have to account for those fees, and so it gets put in as an expense. And so obviously the
Basically, we
more,
figured on the income, probably the lodging, sales.
lodging, I don't think it's just from Square, I believe, is where it comes from.
Credit card processing fees.
Yeah, so obviously it's higher, but that's because, the income from sales is higher than we
That's why I was
expected,
just looking
so.
at the sales, trying to figure out which sales that would apply to.
It only applies that was
Square,
to Square sales.
because I think Fair Harbor does it separately, which is for lodging, so.
Maybe 605 and 645?
This is a question that I think I've asked now for 4 years, and every time I get it answered, and I think, okay, I'm happy with that answer, and then I see it again, I go, that's a
Well, yeah,
lot of
because
money.
this shows sales square at 46,000, but then fees 22,000. That seems like a very high percentage to me.
No, you're right, I'm looking at that too, and I'm like,
Yeah, but look at 605 and 645. Those are both income, sales, use, and tax, plus sales of Square.
No, 605 is income
Tax,
coming
yeah, that
in
wouldn't have anything to
from
do
the
with
city to
Square.
us.
Oh,
I should
okay.
bring Nikki to these meetings,
Yeah. You should on these particular
on
ones.
the
Well,
quarterly
that's
reports.
why I wonder if maybe the 55,000 lodging, isn't that paid for through Square or no?
Which one?
No,
The
it's through
lodging
Fair
is not
Harbor.
paid?
Lodging is through Fair Harbor, so they have a separate,
Yeah, I'd like to know what all is, well, not right now, obviously, but
Yeah.
one thing I think we ought to look at is what all is being processed through Square, and why is the fee 22,000, unless there's other things in that too, other types of fees and
It would
stuff.
be any
My-
kind of, anything paid
My
for, even at the
my guess
bait
would
shop.
that would also include Fair Harbor.
And
that-
bait shop and anything else.
because-
Anybody that pays with a credit card, we're going to pay a fee for it, right?
I see that, but still, the numbers don't look
No.
But if you
right to
added
me. It seems high,
the Square sales and the lodging sales,
but he's saying lodging doesn't go through Square.
it doesn't go
doesn't,
through
but I'm
Square,
saying-
but
But it still has a fee.
but 702.
It'd still be charged then.
My prediction would be 702 is not only just Square fees, it's also Fair Harbor, basically any of those vendor processing fees.
Yeah.
So you'd have to
That makes way
cross
more
it with
sense.
any of the income coming in for the total. So that would
Yeah.
be a more likely percentage versus just directly to Square.
yeah, because I know if you book
because-
online, there's a percentage fee that you have to pay through Fair
Be-
Harbor.
My point being is there's no other line item here for Fair Harbor for fees being paid. So my guess is that's all into that same
Let me,
702.
yeah, and let me ask Nikki tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel certain that I have gone through this 2 or 3 times, and I forget every time. But because one of my concerns was that we weren't including the income. I mean, the income was net of that, and then you have the expense, so you basically be double expensing it, and that's not what's happening. So that gross income is what we're reporting, but that is an expense that comes off of that immediately. Like, they take it out before they give us the check even. So we really do need to know specifically. I know I've asked that like 3 times, and I've got an answer, and I've been happy with
Because
it.
if you sell $317 from Square account, the next day we'll get a deposit for $280 because credit card fees and vendor fees, vendor as in Square,
Right.
so.
And their fees vary depending upon the kind of card it is, and there's hundreds of different kinds of
And if you
cards.
do it online,
They don't mean
swipe
Visa,
it or
MasterCard, they mean
all that's
what kind of Visa. If you look at your statements from those companies, there's like this long list, and each one has a different rate in their system. Every processor does that.
And
Makes it very
whether-
difficult to balance those.
And there's a higher fee if the card's not swiped
Right.
versus if it's manually entered.
Right.
Wait, what?
So like if you swipe the card through a reader, it's a lower fee than if you type in the number 1234.
Yeah.
There's a higher fee for that as well.
And debit cards have different fees.
So
than
that's
regular
why there's
credit
going to be
card.
variations if you looked at
Yeah,
There's not a set
how those
amount.
transactions were actually processed.
Yeah, and another thing that I wanted to just be clear, if, say we had a $317 sale, and then we collected a total of $345 with taxes and all the stuff like that. If we're going to expense those things, which we are, the sales amount has to be $345, and
Yeah.
then you take out the expenses. So I want to make sure that we are recording, and I think we are. I think I've asked this question 5 times, but that's just one more thing to confirm with Nikki, and I'll probably see him tomorrow, so I'll personally ask too.
That it's actually gross sales being reported, not the net after the fees
Exactly,
are
because
out.
that was my fear before, that we were just doing the net sales, and then we were also expensing, so that's double
Double
expense.
taking out the
But we
taxes.
weren't. So I'm pretty certain that Nikki is entering everything that comes in like that the way it comes in. And I feel pretty confident in that, but it is something that I will double check one more time just to make us all feel a little better. But I'm pretty certain of it.
And I'm going to ask, but you probably be a Nikki question too. Fair Harbor is just our reservation system. What processor do they use for their credit cards? Do we know? They have their own internal processor. We have to use theirs, or do they let us use ours?
I mean, they take the payments and then deposit the money into our account, much like
They
Square.
probably had their own.
So those fees are probably included in
Just-
it, obviously,
It
as
could-
well.
and it might not be, I don't know the answer to this, but it might not be just a credit card processing fee. There's a total fee that says, hey, for every reservation we book, we get X amount of dollars. So that would be then deducted out under these vendor fees as well.
That's exactly what happens. We pay them a percentage.
That makes
They-
more sense.
and they don't
I'm
break
looking
down
at
the fees. That makes
income from
sense.
operations and then looking at the credit card
That
fees.
makes
And I'm like,
sense.
that's an awfully high percentage we're paying in processing fees. So that would make sense if it's the per reservation, there's a fee.
I'm absolutely certain that is right.
right,
That's
well, we'll
going in
find
there
out.
too.
Yeah, because if someone books online, there's an additional fee. If they call in, they don't have to pay that because we're doing the work of making the reservation. But if they do it online, say book a cabin, they pay an additional 3% fee. And so I think that money comes in as income, but then we have to pay that 3% back. Like they
Basically
deduct
just-
it from
It's
the,
basically just deducted
it's
before.
deducted from the deposit.
From our deposit.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fee is paid to them, not to us.
So that's why I'm pretty certain
Yes.
that he reports the sales amount, and then when he gets the actual deposit amount, he takes that deposit amount in and the other expenses and makes
Goes
the
to
total
fees.
for the deposit amount.
Yeah.
I'd bet something on it. Right.
Can we back up just a little bit? You're saying that if they call in and they use the same credit card, whether it's done online or calling in, if they call in, we don't do the percentage to them?
Well, Fair Harbor doesn't charge them an additional 3% or whatever percent it is. I
Only
think it's
because they're
3.
on the phone.
Because they're talking to us instead
We're
of Fair
because-
Harbor.
Right, I get that. But the point is, the percentage of the fees should be charged to them because they're still using their credit card.
Well, we still charge them for credit card fees. It's just a booking fee that goes to Fair. That's how Fair Harbor makes their money.
Well,
is
I mean,
online
I'm trying to
bookings.
help us make money. I'm fundraising here. So the percentage that would be charged through Fair Harbor, whether they're calling into us or Fair Harbor, it should still be the same.
The booking fee, yeah.
The booking fee should be to us,
So
just
we
like
should
it is through
collect
Fair
booking
Harbor.
fee just
Because
like
we're
Fair Harbor.
manually doing it. We have to take the time to do that. So the point is that percentage should also come to us.
Well, maybe we can talk to them and see if there's a way to set that up where,
And I was,
there's a,
in the same way about the Square thing, if you were using Square and there was a percentage that we have to pay to this company Square, we should be charging people like we do for the credit card, for using a credit card to
A
make
lot
a
of people
payment.
consider that
You
cost
go
of doing
everywhere.
business, though, and they really balk at having to
Yeah,
pay
I
extra
mean,
to use a credit
Yeah,
card.
but everywhere you go, there's at the register, it says you will be charged this amount for using your credit card.
You see that at
It's
restaurants.
everywhere.
No.
Not everywhere.
So,
And if I have found, just trying to research myself, decide whether to do it at my restaurant, the majority of people don't like that.
I know they
If you're in
don't.
the hospitality
No, I
business,
don't
you
like it.
shouldn't do
I
it.
don't.
If you're selling, I don't know, shovels at the hardware store, fine, do it. But they say hospitality business really shouldn't. Selling at gift shops or things that people don't like it. So it puts them in a bad mood. They don't want to spend money. They don't want
Because a
that.
lot of times you don't have the option to pay cash because you're booking it online or you're booking it, some other,
Yeah, you take my away with my option and then charge me more. Like I,
You just go across
Well,
the board everything you have and mark it
these
up
are
time
really
to
good
cover it.
questions to ask and everything, but they're probably more in line with an actual line item on the agenda for really, if you're going to really modify anything, to talk about those kinds of things.
These are just
Also-
questions. I'm not asking them.
Yeah, no.
Just
But
questions.
I'm saying that we really do need to dig into it and really analyze it. I think that going from everything that I see, and I've dug into this before, Fair Harbor, like Airbnb or anybody else, that's how they make their money, by managing that. Not only do they take the reservations, control the calendar, do all that kind of stuff. But they take the money, they wait it for their money from the credit card company, they pay the fee that they have to pay, and they handle all that, and then the accounting to get us our money in a timely manner. So they earn their fee. Absolutely they do. If we take the reservation and somebody says, "Sarah, yeah, we can reserve this for you," we're not doing all that background stuff. We're basically taking the credit card, putting it in there, putting it on the calendar. So do we really want to charge our campers, an extra, what would that be? Maybe $10 or $15 could be?
I mean, maybe,
I don't think it's that
no,
much.
but
$5 or $8?
$5 for a cabin.
Just
and-
charge them the same.
I mean, if we want to make more money off lodging, we should just up our
Raise
rates.
the
our rate.
Yeah.
Because they are
Don't-
pretty low.
Yeah.
Don't fee them to death.
I mean,
Cover the lack of booking fees, because
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we said
this
we're
becomes a
reducing our
whole new
labor.
workshop thing to me. I mean,
So can
really
we put it
just
on the
going through
agenda
those
for
rates.
workshop?
Yeah.
I think we should definitely go through that. We've
Let's
talked-
put it on workshop.
Okay.
And I think the final takeaway is next quarterly report, I'm going to make Nikki come.
Oh, yeah, I think that's good. Because he does understand, how that comes
He
in.
sees it every day,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
And he's very meticulous about how all this stuff gets entered. So, I don't
And
have
it
any.
might, that number, $22,000 for one quarter jumps out at me when, if you look at for the total year, to date, it was, where's it at, 702?
100,000.
No, 30,000. For year to date, it's
Oh.
30,000, and then for this quarter alone, it's 22,000.
Oh, yeah, that is a good.
And we're in the
question,
second
Sam.
quarter, so.
I know we're busier, but that's pretty significant, especially when you compare it to the total income.
Well, that's, and, a big chunk of that's because January and February are so slow. So, I mean, you look at, so the first quarter would have been about 8,000, give or
Okay.
take.
Yeah.
That kind of.
But January and February is just dead out there. I mean, there's nothing, there's no business, so.
That's true.
Well, that makes sense. Okay.
And if the fees include all credit card fees,
How about I look into it tomorrow, and then I'll email you guys
okay.
just a quick explanation.
Okay.
Just
Sounds good.
Thank you,
hopefully-
Sam.
Hopefully, it, clears it up a little bit,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Good questions, everybody. Anybody have any other questions? All right, then are we prepared to make a motion on this?
I move to approve the second quarter, April to June 2025 financials.
Second.
We have a motion from Ruth, second from Rod. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, then our next item, we added to the agenda, Ruth, before you were here, an item, a workshop, the workshop, moving it from, I don't know, what's the term?
Well, we would move it,
Leatherwood.
so on the actual budget, I break down on 756 and 756 and 706. I break down, what we're spending those large chunks of money on. And currently, the workshop is under 756. And
Which is
was
Leatherwood.
$25,000. It was Leatherwood Workshop, and it just made sense to put it on Leatherwood.
Oh, yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and the Leatherwood account is, not a whole lot of money in there because we started paying payroll out of it, and then the Olson fees. So it's getting kind of skimpy, and, really, the workshop benefits the entire Parks Department.
Well-
It doesn't just benefit Leatherwood,
Yeah,
so.
and we're allowed to spend money out of our general things.
Exactly.
Leatherwood, so there's just no reason not to do that.
Yeah,
Does everybody understanding completely, does that make sense to everybody what Sam's
Yeah, it's
asking
being
for?
used for things other than just Leatherwood, so. it
Yeah,
makes
so-
sense to put it in the general
in
fund.
the Q3, I'll fix it tomorrow, but on Q3 report, it'll show $25,000 more in 70, budgeted for 706, and $25,000 less budgeted for 756, but, those expenditures will move from we can reimburse the Leatherwood account, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
I get it.
Everybody feeling comfortable with what Sam's saying and understanding what we're doing?
Yep.
We need a motion?
I do. I'm trying to decide
Word it.
how we're moving
We're
it.
moving $25,000 from 756 to 706.
Okay.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Rod, a second from Ken. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right. That takes care of new business. Let's go around the room and get comments from commissioners. Anything, Beth?
I would just say again, kudos to everybody involved in the 4th of July. It was phenomenal, and especially Rod, I got to call you out because parking is the major headache.
Hey, I
and you
provided
have
him an assistant, Beth.
Okay, and to you too.
No, I provided him Aiden for
Oh.
his assistant.
Oh, well, thank you, Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden,
Rod,
he was
thank you.
amazing to help me.
Thank you. That's a big thing to take on, so thanks.
And I did it all night, so it was perfect.
Aaron, anything?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Ruth?
No, other than same thing, especially I know Sam already thanked the different businesses out there that helped us in the police department, et cetera, but having Hidden Valley Ranch, letting us use their parking was really nice.
You know, that did-
I hope we were good tenants of their parking and or whatever, and stewards of it. I know the Clear Springs.
I went there Saturday, the day after, and cleaned up, because I was like, I don't want
That's
to
what I was
ruin
gonna
this
ask.
relationship.
Yeah, because I was so happy and so grateful they did that.
That's one thing that popped in my mind actually that next morning is I thought, you know, one thing we didn't talk about was going out and walking their property and make sure that we cleaned up anything that, you know.
I mean, I'm
So-
sure there are little tiny bits of litter here and there,
Well, maybe
but I
this next
picked up
year
all
we
the
can do
obvious
better.
stuff, and
We can put together a group to go out and do that specifically.
yeah. She seemed pretty happy with the whole thing.
Good.
I was texting her, I was like,
Good.
thank you.
Good.
All right.
As far as parking is concerned, I think it went smoother this year than it has for the past 2 years because we had more help this year. So thank you, commissioners, for helping in the actual parking lot. And at the end, was Billy the police officer that was there with the car parked for me?
No, Billy's the chief.
The chief,
But
okay.
there were 3 officers.
I didn't get to remember his name, but he was the one that was at the end of the evening that really helped the most because trying to get everybody to turn right was so easy. It made everything so smooth. But we'll figure out what to do to keep people coming into the park, even though we're closed at that point, because it would be better if we had 2 lanes going out both directions
Yeah.
and nobody coming in. So we'll figure out how to handle that for next year.
That would
But
be,
it
was-
went so smooth at the end of the evening, we got people out quick.
Yeah. Was it a bigger officer? Was he like big, stout
Yeah,
guy?
he had a big stout
Tall.
guy, and he parked his car right there in the middle.
It was Officer Moffett.
Moffett,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't get his name, but thank you, sir. I really appreciate your help because he really was very monumental
He was
in keeping
super
people
cool,
from
too.
turning left.
He kept his composure. I was like, oh,
Yeah, he
sure,
did.
I love them too. We were lucky to have so many of them help us. There were several police officers down there, so it was
Yeah.
nice.
And I had probably, like the year before, I think I had maybe about 30 people who refused to follow rules or follow helping us. And this year, I think it was maybe 5. So it went so much smoother and easier on anybody
Just
who
the
helped
presence of
volunteer.
having them there makes a difference. People are a little more,
Yeah, they're
accommodating.
more willing to follow the rules if there is a police officer there. So that, thank you, Officer Moffett. Thank you so much.
All right. Ken?
I wasn't really a part of the parking, so, but what I saw, it just really went smoothly. But, you know, I was really kind of mingling among the crowd, and people were having such a good time. I mean, it was just really, really impressive. So many tourists, a lot of local people. I've talked to a lot of local people who I think were afraid to come out because of the parking situation. So, you know, I think if we can get the word out, you know, that parking and shuttle, you know, using a shuttle, you know, is really kind of the way to go. We might get some more of the local people out, but yeah, I thought it was just a fantastic event. It really went well, went smoothly. So thank you all, who did your part in it. And on a slightly different note, my wife and I were down at Basin Park the other day or other evening, and we went up around the band shell and up on the new walkway up there, which I hadn't seen yet, and that's really beautiful up there. It is so nice. There's a few places that still need a little touch up that look a little sketchy, but really a nice area up there. One thing that did concern me, though, is I saw there was a young lady, probably a teenager, who had climbed up and gotten on top of the band shell. And I don't know if that's a problem
That's a
or a common thing, but I thought, ooh, that does not look good. That looks like it could be a real liability for someone, maybe us. I don't know.
I mean, putting those handrails with the chains, it's like, that's a pretty obvious sign you're not supposed to go down there, but.
They were going
So I think
up
we're-
on the sides, like the buttresses, climbing the buttresses right there, and I don't know how you
People are-
stop something like that.
People are animals, man.
Yeah, they are. Listen, I lived in D.C. for a long time, and we had people letting their kids climb all over 100-year-old statues and not even bat an eye. So
I say that, and I've seen my own children climb up on the bluff, like way up on the bluff lines, and I'm just like,
and I usually yelling at you, get your children down.
I know.
But again, it's really, really a pretty area up through there, and just to see the old spring up top and all that, it was just very nice, very nice.
I agree. That made me think of my comment, which is one thing that we did, I just want to make a note of this. At the end, before we were doing the fireworks, having all those people down in the creek bed and all that kind of stuff. The year before, that was all taped off, so next year we're going to make sure they can't get down there, because I had to stay down there and yell at a bunch of teenagers for a long time. I was that mean old grandpa yelling
Whatever,
at kids.
you liked it.
I did for a minute, and then I had to get my friend Susan, the former police officer, to go with me and say, "Y'all don't want me to sick Susan on you."
I mean, it's fine if people go over there up until 8 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock we got to.
Yeah, they kept.
I kind of lost
But they
track
kept
of
sneaking
time.
back down the creek after we got them back. They kept going back, so I kept watching them,
So-
and then going back down and yelling at them.
A little bit more perimeter control after
Yeah, we got to
8
have a little bit
p.m.
more because that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't horrible. It was just the kind of thing you have to do. But
Yeah.
it was amazing.
You need a dart gun or something.
Yeah.
Simon had a bunch of
Yeah, paintball.
Public Works has a bunch of those like sawhorse reflector traffic things. I should just get a bunch of those, and then once 8 o'clock rolls around, have them staged, because people can be over there up until that time, and then after that, make an announcement, and then put all those out and just
Yeah,
say,
good idea. Another positive thing on that is the kids area in the shade, that one side.
Katie said it was awesome, much better.
That was really amazing. I was talking to Katie and a couple of other moms that are like, no, this is 10 times better. Because before we just had it in the heat in the middle of the day. So, yeah, that was good.
Oh, I have a question before we quit here. Hidden Valley, were there parking? Was there something roped off? Because I remember somebody coming back and saying we need to remove ropes so we can add more parking.
Oh,
Was there an area that
kind
was
of around
not
the
available
barn,
to us?
kind of around the barn area. I just didn't think we were gonna have that many people. So
Next
eventually we
year it's
opened
going
it
to
up,
be even
and
more.
yeah,
But if
so
you
we
have
opened it up.
horses and stuff out there, they have horses, right?
Yeah, and it's
can't
just a
have
bunch of
people near a
equipment,
barn.
and but we got another 50 cars in once we removed the rope, and it's fine to
Yeah.
park there. She said it's okay, but
Okay.
I just underestimated.
No, I wouldn't want
Number
anybody near a
of-
barn with my horses in it, so.
No, I don't think there's any horses in there. I think tractors and stuff, but.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions, any more comments from the commissioners? All right. Then do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
My second.
Motion by Beth, second by Ruth. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Let's go home.